Okay.
Yeah.
So, Mr. Krenek, would you tell us a little bit about how it all started? How long does the band exist, and how did
Well, actually, the Krenek Band been here, as far as we know, it's over 150 years. It's in the fourth generation already. And we've been playing for public dances, weddings, and clubs, and for all generations of people, German, Czech, Spanish, whatever came, and what they asked for and what they pay for, we just played it for them.
Well, what you play, or what did the band play all the time, or how did it develop?
We used to play mostly old-time music, polka and waltzes and schottisches. Only here lately, the last 15 years, we start playing a lot of country and western music, which is so popular here in the United States. At least you got to go what the people want. So we still do play polka and waltz if they ask for it.
And there must be quite a lot of people who were interested in polka music, this kind of European music.
Well, they still are, yeah, different places.
Would you tell us a little bit about how does that come, that a music that doesn't belong to this country has been played so?
Well, there's a lot of people. My grandma came from Germany. She brought some songs here and we wrote a lot of songs ourselves, you know. And that's comes in the blood or generations, or whatever you call it. I myself been playing music for at least 65 years for public dances. I started when I was 8 years old. I started playing with my daddy.
So, did you want to keep up the European tradition in America?
Yeah, for sure. It is again. It's popular always. We play we play for more German people than any other nationality. We played at the Sons of Herman Hall for 18 years, every Sunday night for 18 years. Missed 3 Sundays out of 18 years. And then we played at the Galveston Sons of Herman Hall, that's not a German hall there, for 22 years, every second Saturday. And people never got tired of the music.
How many members does the band have, and what instruments do you use?
We use usually 6: trumpet, trombone, drums, bass, a dulcimer, and a clarinet, and a piano.
And do you try to basically keep the tradition up, or do you try to find new ways of playing these things?
Well, we do play it the same style yet, but a lot of it's going country here, country and western music.
Wow.
They started the rock and roll, but it's heavy rock, and it kind of died out, so even the rock and roll bands going back to country and western music. For some reason, they couldn't make a go of it.
So is this, for you, is this no contradiction, the European tradition and the American tradition? Or does this go together easily?
Very easy. Because we have a lot of German people here too, just like we have any other nationality, Czech or whatever you call them, Irish, Indians, but they all love it.
And there's no, like for you, there's no contradiction between these traditions, the European tradition and the American.
No,
tradition.
it's all the same to me. I play any of it because personally I play the clarinet, saxophone, violin, or fiddle you call it in the country and western, dulcimer, drums. It don't make much difference. I play most any instrument. I got 3 kids playing, 2 sons in the band and a girl.
And what do they play?
The girl plays the piano as a singer, and the boy plays the bass, and he also sings. And the youngest boy, he plays the drums. He's a country and western singer. That's what makes our band is the drummer right now.
And where do you all play in America? Do you make big tours, or do you basically play?
We
around
used to do a lot of that, but we just play locally mostly. We go maybe up to about 200 miles from our distance, from our town.
Is this because you are a bit tired of traveling all the time? Or
Yeah,
is this because your clientele is basically here?
We got enough jobs here to keep us, all we want to play anyway, keep us busy here.
What does it mean here? Would you explain that for us?
Like weddings, clubs, and celebrations, you know, and that kind of a sort of a thing. So it's all, whatever we want, we play.
When you say here, what do you mean by here? Does that
Locally, you know, just within 200 miles.
And would you think that the interest in your type of music, is it basically around here in Texas, or would it be more, but you say you just don't want to travel that far?
We just don't want to travel. It would go anywhere.
Right. You said that you were now about...
We even go to Germany if we had somebody pay us enough money. And I can get a band there that they never had before there, I believe. It takes the money.
The strange thing is, you know, that the Germans are more interested in American music.
They are.
Whereas the Americans partly are interested very much in German music, I guess. But
Well, music is really a feeling. All depends how you play it. That's the reason those two dance halls we lasted that long. We played there exactly the beat that they want to dance to, and that's hard to do, you know. If you played yourself before, you got to satisfy the public, otherwise they don't want to invite you back. And that tells you right then that we must satisfy the public by have the certain kind of dance beat to them that they love to dance to.
And this is why you said you recently changed over a lot more to country music?
That's right, because even the older people rather dance to it. It's a little bit slower. People don't want to work hard as they used to. You know, like a polka, you have to dance. It's a little more work to. You almost run to. I mean, just like running, dancing the polka. But these slow country and western, you just a little bit easier on you.
Right. You said you were going to hand over the business, so to speak, to your son.
Well, he is really running, and I'm playing with him now. I'm kind of getting all the problems booking dances and such as that. And carrying that stuff, instruments around. I've been doing it for 65 years. It's for him to start doing it. So keep the band going on. And we got some grandchildren that they playing trumpets now. So it may go into another generation.
All right. What was your personal preference in all these years, or did this change over the years? Your musical preference. What is your personal taste in music?
You mean different kind of music?
Well, you know, were you always like very much inclined basically to polka music, or was that more because the audience wanted to hear that? What is your personal
The public wants to hear the music we're playing now, which is country and western mostly.
That's why
that's going. That's anyhow in Texas. That's what's really going strong here.
And you don't make any difference between what the audience wants and what you personally like?
That's right. Don't make no difference. We play what they want. That's how you get called back, and you do your business. You can be back in business. You got to stay in business, you know. You play what they want. If they want St. Louis blues 6 times a night, I'm going to play it for them.
Have you ever played blues?
Yeah. I used to play it on the clarinet. Well, I still do.
All right. But people don't want to hear blues so much these days.
Oh, the older times they do. Yes, they still do. Quite a bit.
Is there in your opinion a difference between, so to speak, black music and white music, or?
Well, some of the young kids, I hate to say this, But some of the young kids taking what I call it jungle music. And it's mostly colored people like it, you know. I call it uneducated music because the professionals in the United States can't write no music to it. Some of the rock and roll songs that they played, they just stay in one or two keys all the way through the song, which I call it unprofessional. The music writers can't put it in music. At least that's what they tell me.
Did you ever write songs for yourself? Or you
I wrote about 35 songs myself and put it in music.
How did you write it? Did you put notes down? Or?
Notes, and that's right. We even record that where the professionals read the music in Nashville, Tennessee. We made an album up there.
Well, what direction was this, if it's possible to explain it? Your own compositions, were they like European music orientated, or?
Well, mostly we were polka and walzes those days.
I see.
We got a few country songs that I wrote too. And actually, this year we got plans to go to Nashville and cut a LP or every whole tape with the band, which is going to be country and western mostly.
Do you already know who would produce this, or
We're going to the RCA Studio, I believe. That's the only one that really makes a good record in this part. Actually, RCA got two big studios. Well, one of them is the old one. It's a small one, about twice the size of this house here. And the other one is, I don't know, I say 200 by 300. But all the bands, they don't want to record. They tried, and they don't have the sound like the old RCA Studio. It's got a gully sound. All the bands want to record in the old studio for some reason. It just produces a better sound.
Did you do much recording during your career, or were you more of a live
Quite a
band?
bit.
Would you tell us a bit about it?
Well, the first record we made in 1948, there was only two studios in Houston, and you know how big is Houston's third largest city in the United States, I believe, or second, one of the two. And one studio had two mics in a room about 30 by 30, and the other one, a colored man, had a studio in his house. The white man didn't want to record us those days. He says, times are hard and he can't make it. So the colored boy says, let's record. So the song that you got on record called the Houston Polka, we record that first. And that when we recorded, we put it on those hard 78s records. And that first records, we sold at least 1,000 for the first 2 weeks. It went real strong. And it was recorded only with one mic. The whole band had to record this thing in a little, like a bedroom size studio with one mic.
Do you remember who changed this way of recording in Nashville?
Well, they got better equipment. They started getting more and more tracks. Now they're having 16 tracks, which we had one mic those days. But those days, there were a lot more professional musicians than we have now. Everybody had to read out of the music, and then if you had to play it by the ear, because everybody was strict those days. If you didn't play it right, they called it you're no good.
Right. I mean, I think that's really different now, but I don't know.
And now they just pick up a guitar and start singing and stay in about 2 keys. And the song dies out in 60 days, and that's over with. 30, maybe, some of them 6 months, and then nobody hears the song no more. But these polkas that they were recorded years back by the Germans and the Czech and the Irish or French, they still going today. I can name you some polkas that long as I can remember, when I was a boy playing, they're still going just as strong. They're still strong, you know.
But is this something that's more for the older generation? What do you think? Or is there...
Not really. We have a lot of young generations going to dance and polka music here too. So all depends. There's all kind of people in this world, in the United States anyway.
Should we maybe ask your son now about his opinion, how he wants to continue this?
Yeah, he can come over here and see what he thinks about it. Come over here, son. See how you gonna run this band from on now? We kept it up 150 years. I want to see if you're going to keep it going from one generation to another.
Thanks.
Here's my oldest son, called Krenek.
Hi, Joe. Joe, what do you think? I mean, how do you want to continue this band?
Well, we'll just keep on playing what the music of today is. It's mostly like country and western, little rock and roll, and a few polkas and waltzes. Some people might not like rock and roll, like Dad don't like it too much, but we'll play it in there a little bit.
What are your favorite musical genres or styles?
Well, I like rock and roll too. When I was younger, I liked rock and roll, went country western, little polkas, waltzes. I like it all.
So you don't plan really fundamental changes in the musical direction?
Not really. Just stay what we've been doing and just keep on going.
So you don't think that it's old-fashioned, like to play these European styles of music?
No, because there's people out there, they ask you for it, and you got to do it. And it's good music.
Would you change the instrumentation of the band, or do you keep the traditional instruments in the group?
Probably we're versatile. There's like the guy plays guitar or whatever, he plays trombone or trumpet, and we're versatile. There's the other ones that play different instruments too, so we can kind of swap over. If you want to play some polkas and waltzes, you can swap over from your guitars and fiddles and things like that to polkas and waltzes. We can play it with them too.
Is there anybody who could play the dulcimer still?
Nobody's been practicing, except my dad. It needs to be, some kept on, but it just seems like too many things going on, just no time to sit down and do it.
It's a difficult instrument to play, isn't it?
It's very difficult. I tried, but I might get a few plink notes out of it, but that's about it.
All right. Thanks very much, gentlemen.
Thank you.
All right.